I've got a few technical questions that have come in for today's show, some on video comments and some came by email. So we're going to get right to that in just a moment. I got to get me a audio confirmation first and a speakerbot confirmation. There I've got audio for me, and here comes speakerbot.
DougBot said, hi,
Yes,
how you doing?
That is a workie. So let's go start with video comments. How are you all today on this March 28th, 2025, Friday? Josh McDaniel on this video about upgrading from Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro, which the same technique works for Windows 11. And I'm probably going to remake that video in the not too distant future, in part because of his question. His question indicates that he missed a piece that I said in that video. And when I went to look at that video and see where is that piece, I realized, yeah, that's not very noticeable. He says, this will give you Pro, but will it activate is my question, or do you just have a watermark? Well, it will activate with the license that you purchase. You have to purchase a Windows 11 or Windows 10 Pro, either way, license in order for it to activate. Now, you miss that piece, but it's real easy to miss. So let me show where that is. Let's see which video is it. Here, this one. So I pulled up the transcript for that video, and I see here at 10 minutes and 25 seconds is the only time that I mentioned the word purchase. And that's right at the end of the video. You see these end screen cards are appearing. And what I say there is so that you can put in the Windows 10 Pro license that you purchased here. So at that point, it's hidden. It's covered on the screen. You can't even see it. And in that video, I was not actually, the computer I was working with had already been activated for Windows 10. So I didn't have to go through putting in a purchase license for Windows 10. So after you use that temporary code for installing or activating Pro, not activating the license, but you are activating the programming code that is included in Windows, that is the Pro content. Once you get that engaged, then you have to put in a purchase license. Otherwise, you're going to have the watermark. So I did neglect to put in a timestamp for Josh, didn't I? Let's see, it's that one there, and it must have been around the half-second mark or something like that. No, it was probably 3 seconds. I'll give it. I'll have to go back and check on that. And then moving on to the next one. This one from I Only Bow to God. And this is the first comment, and then the second comment here. I think this is the order they came in. And this was on the video about virus total column in auto runs. Oops, you couldn't see that. Yeah, this is the video that it was on. It's the same one they just commented a second time up here. He's on version 14.11 and gets the same error all the way down for every process, which 14.11, I believe I checked, and that's what I have, and it is the most recent. Then he says, mine does not show any numbers, period. Doggone it, I forgot the link. I'll go back and get it later. Mine does not show any numbers, period. As you open auto runs, it automatically scans all of them, being errors. If I try submitting, it just comes back saying error. Well, if you intentionally meant to do the all caps, it's not needed. It's a little bit really weird, but I've got the idea what you're saying there. And in auto runs, I've got one open here somewhere. He's saying that this column here, he gets errors on all of that. There have been some people that have reported that, particularly with this version of auto runs, and by installing an older version, they've been able to solve the issue. And I believe we covered that during this video. I'm sure I'd like a different name to refer to you. What should I call that to? BTG? I'll call you BTG for now. On Saturdays, I do a live stream that starts 2 hours later than today's live stream started at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're interested, I'd love to have you come in and let me connect remotely to your computer. You can come in on Zoom. You can participate in the chat room, so we can try to find out what your issue is. But without getting hands-on, it's hard to say anything more. During that video that you watched, I gave some other explanations of issues that might be causing the trouble. You haven't responded to any of those issues. I don't know if you have considered those other points or not, but if you're interested, that's something I very much would like to do. Hi, Stormy. How you doing? If you want to do that, then send me an email at this address. I'll give you a little bit of information in response. So, and by sending me the email, mainly you're letting me know that you are interested in doing that. And that way, during a live show, myself and the chat room can participate in trying to determine what is causing the problem on your computer. I think it's pretty safe to say that there is something unique about your computer, because this is not a widespread problem among lots of people, but there's lots of different things that could cause it. And maybe working on it together, we can figure it out. So, BTG, that is my response, and I will come back and reply to his comment with a timestamp to this point in today's video. Jeff Ryman let me know in chat that he's going to be on a Zoom meeting, so he's not going to be here during this show. But that's okay, because I'm intending to address this subject yesterday. I have quite a significant response to it with regards to activating Policy Editor in Windows Home. I have a method of doing it that I like much better than this one, and I would like to discuss that and show how that works. Dubai View problem solved. Dubai View, I feel like I responded to you. Did I respond to that yesterday or 2 days ago? I'm not sure. Sounds familiar, but anyway, Dubai View, we're here 6 days a week, up to 6 days a week. Sometimes I skip a day, with the intention of responding to people's questions on issues that they're having with their computers. This is on the solved upgrade from Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro. Does anybody hear me fumbling over words? Jeez, I just seem to not be able to spit them out. And then this one, TSE8675. I had to replace my fan too. This was very helpful, thanks. So that was when I was demonstrating how to replace a fan. So same message for TSE, as we're here 6 days a week. We're responding to people's questions. So you can put a comment on any of my videos or send an email to this address, and we will respond to any other issues that you might have. That's the whole reason why this channel is here. Well, maybe not the whole reason, but substantial part of the reason. Okay, I need to catch my breath a little bit before I go on to the email questions. Oh my gosh, my speech today just not working right. I don't think I've even popped out chat yet. Let's go pause that so we don't get the mirroring effect. Pop out chat and say hello to the people. Bring up my totally useless counter. It's useless only because I haven't used it today. Get this zoomed in. John Williams, greetings to you. Jeff Ryman says, I can't watch this morning because I have a Zoom meeting starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And yeah, he's in Arizona, so well, it's actually Mountain Time, isn't it? But it's the same as Pacific Time during the Daylight Savings Time season. Hello, Charlie. Oh my gosh. Hello, Charlie Purdy. Hello, John Williams. I had to call a furnace repair company to fix it. Needed a new hot surface igniter. He said we should think about replacing the entire furnace. We'll see. Well, you could do that. You can entirely do that. It won't cost you any money at all. Let me tell you how you can do that without spending any money at all. Totally free. Seriously, you can do what he said without spending any money. You can think about it without spending a single dollar. Ba-dum bop. Don't give up your day job, Doug. That comedy gig is not going to work for you. Mike Wojcik, hello. Martin Hogg, hello. Rick Lakes, hello. I was reading about Zorin 17.3, which has been created to give users an operating system as a replacement for Windows to attract disgruntled Windows users. Think I'll take a look. Wow. All right. Well, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say about it, but isn't that kind of reinventing the wheel? Isn't that what Linux has always been about? Well, not really, but it has accomplished that. So maybe this Zorin 17.3 is a closer clone, but I'm not comfortable about trying something brand new that's not been vetted very well by the tech community, if that's what's happening. John says he's heard about it as well. Have not tried it though. Celestia Guru, aka Selden Ball. I got it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Phil Stodd, hello. Lon Dog shows up with 0 points. John Downey's got some points accumulated because the points start accumulating with your first chat message. Your first chat message, if you're asking how many points you have, it's 0. Parker Morse, hello. Would you stop bugging me, phone? Alice Jones, hello. Rick Lakes. Alice says, my PC is taking so long to load. It is frustrating. Alice has been talking to us for quite a long time about replacing her computer. So Windows 10 is not Windows 11 capable, and it's quite long in the tooth. And I think it even has a spinning hard drive. Perhaps needs to be defragmented, but I think we've discussed that before. I think we've discussed before disabling startup items. And I don't know if we've ever looked at Crystal Disk Info to see if the hard drive actually has errors and is about to really go out in a bad way. Conversation about this Windows substitute. If you download the ISO to USB to run the installer, it will give the option of installing the operating system or trying it out first. You can try the operating system without installing it? Wow, that's weird. Oh, and Alice is saying it's a recent issue. Disk drive, definitely if she replaces it with an SSD, that would be faster, but is it worth doing that on a computer that's not going to support Windows 11? All right, I am close to caught up, and I'm only almost halfway through the show, so I do have time to get to my emails. Brian Lightfoot, a time traveler, walks into a bar and orders a drink last Thursday. All right, yeah, I chuckled. I did chuckle. So looks like he's got more of them. That was a chuckle. Stop doing it that way, Doug. Don't you learn how to do this? 4 fonts. Walk into a bar. The bartender says, hey, we don't want your type in here. Yeah, okay, I didn't even chuckle. Helium walks into a bar and asks for a drink. The bartender says, sorry, we don't serve noble gases here. Helium doesn't react. Oh boy, you gotta be a science geek. Helium walks into a bar and asks for a drink. The bartender says, sorry, we don't serve noble gases here. Helium doesn't react. So I'm going to deduce, and it's vaguely, I'm going to deduce that noble gases are a class of gas that doesn't react. React to what? Yeah, you didn't get a chuckle from me on it. Got to be a science geek, I think, to understand, to laugh at that. We'll take a look. Alice says, I think that's regarding the disk drive. I will sell the house and make lots of cash, you think? What do I hear outside? I heard some noise outside. It might be that bicycle rider that shows up to drink my water when he's taking long rides. Sell the house. Was that about the furnace? Yeah. Make lots of cash. I don't know if you make lots of cash. Yes, Alice has an all-in-one, several years old. Running Crystal Disk Smart to test your read-write speeds. Yeah, but that only is helpful if you know what they used to be. Crystal Disk Info is going to show the health of the disk, and look at all those numbers down in the bottom part of Crystal Disk Info to see if that alerts you to anything going wrong. Classical gas. Tune. Helium is known as an inert gas or non-reactive gas. Alrighty then. I am so edified to know that. It's one of those things I said, when will I ever use this? So then John Downey has a question by email. Let's get this better. I'll just turn me off. Says, Doug, I recently became a treasurer for our church. The church uses a program called Church Windows. I used to support a church that had Power Church. I want it to run on my Mac. It is a Windows program, and I have Parallels on my Mac. However, the program cannot run in Parallels because Parallels does not support a SQL. Do you, your listeners, have any insight into this problem? I'm sure there are workarounds, but are the workarounds more trouble than they are worth? I have not spent any time investigating this. I'm going to go ahead and punch it up to Copilot because you've seen me doing that a lot. And I just did a copy. Now I'm pasting that question. I'm not rewording it at all. I am not telling Copilot this is coming from somebody in my YouTube channel. So Copilot thinks I'm the new treasurer. Technical challenge especially can be tricky, but not impossible. So Copilot thinks it's possible. Use Docker to run SQL on Mac. Install Windows via Boot Camp on Intel Macs only. So that's actually installing Windows. Can that be done as dual boot? Boot Camp to install Windows natively. This would allow you to run Church Windows SQL without compatibility issues. However, this requires rebooting your Mac to switch between Mac OS and Windows. So I'm guessing that Boot Camp allows you to dual boot. Use Azure Data Studio or SQL Operations Studio. That sounds like it could be expensive. These are cross-platform tools that can connect to SQL databases. If Church Windows allows remote database connections, you might be able to use these tools to manage the database from Mac OS. Consider third-party tools. Tools like Crossover or Wine can sometimes run Windows applications on Mac OS without needing full Windows installation. However, compatibility with SQL might be an issue. So talking to the tech support of that software would be another option that I don't see Copilot suggesting, to ask them if there's a way around it. They might just say, no, we don't support Mac. Even though there might be a way to do it, and they'll just say no because they don't support it. They're not going to tell you that it can be done. If they tell you it can be done, even if they know it can be done, then they kind of are putting themselves on the hook to give you further support. John Downey in chat says he has Apple Silicon Mac, cannot use Boot Camp. All right. Remote desktop to a Windows machine from your Mac. If you have access to a Windows PC, you could use remote desktop software to run church Windows. That's a reasonable thing. Could you connect remotely to one of the computers in the church office? Would it be feasible to have one of these $200 mini computers without a keyboard, without a, well, no, there's no reason to have one in the church office because it's not a database in their location, is it? So you could do one of these $200 desktop mini computers and even have monitor, keyboard, and mouse, but you're looking for a less expensive way to do it, I'm sure. Virtual machines with SQL support. While Parallels doesn't support SQL, other virtualization tools like VMware Fusion might work. Alternatively, you could try running a lightweight Linux VM with SQL installed. Each of these sounds kind of really getting into the nitty-gritty. Doesn't sound very promising for a reasonably easy solution. Each of these has pros and cons depending upon your technical expertise, budget, and how critical it is to have church Windows running on your Mac. If you're looking for a simpler solution, the Docker method or remote desktop might be worth exploring first. Well, there's all I know. Perhaps people in chat will have more information for you, John, and perhaps people in comments on this video, subsequent comments, might have other ideas for you. Be ideal if you could find somebody who's actually accomplishing it using that software from a Mac computer. Okay, now I want to point out, last show that I did on Wednesday, towards the end of the show, I really put out the call for people to send me questions, right? This one from John Downey was at 10:09 a.m., shortly after that show 2 days ago. Now, I'm going to click to the next email. Let's see. Oh, I had that wrong. I thought I had two at the same time. But wait a minute, I did, because they were right next to each other in my email. Weren't they? Oh. No, the two that were right next to each other came in yesterday afternoon. I didn't have a show yesterday. All right. Then I'm going to go to this one. Oops, that exposes an email address. Oh, this was about the Yahoo issue. Carol says, I just watched your video on how to change Yahoo back to the standard version. Thank you. The new one is terrible. Once I do that, I can't drag and drop attachments to email, and I can't paste screenshots in the body of the emails. Is there a setting that can be changed, or are those features only available on the new Yahoo? I realized when I read this comment before showtime, I missed a piece out of it because I came away with a question. Did standard Yahoo Mail used to do that? And now I'm understanding from this email that no, it did not, because of this last part. Is there a setting that can be changed, or are those features only available on the new Yahoo? So apparently, I'm deducing that Carol has actually experienced that the new Yahoo, you're able to drag and drop attachments onto an email, and you can paste screenshots into the body of the email. I suspect that those are features that were probably not available in the standard version of Yahoo Mail, and that is perhaps part of the reason why Yahoo wanted to completely rebuild Yahoo Mail from scratch, what appears to be what they did, because that feature is a newer capability if they use a new programming language. or use new programming structures that aren't available to them in the standard version of Yahoo. So I suspect, Carol, that if indeed you're telling me that these were not available in the past, that is part of the reason why they came up with this new Yahoo. And you can switch to the new Yahoo. You can switch back and forth. You don't have to stick with one. So if you have an email where you want to drag an attachment, just click that button in the upper right corner to try the new version. Send the email you're wanting to send with the drag and drop or with the pasting of a screenshot, and then switch back to the standard version. You should be able to switch back and forth all day long until they take that away, which I reluctantly feel is going to happen. So Carol, if you'd like to reply again to that, I welcome you to do so, and we'll take the conversation further. Then the last email that I have from Kerry Holzman, I can display this because it doesn't reveal an email address. However, he makes this email address that he sent from public anyway. He says, I have a question. Feel free to use this for your content if you choose. I've got it explained and demonstrated in this short unlisted video here just for you. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of liberty with this when he says, feel free to use this for your content if you choose. And I'm going to give the chat room this link because I have watched the video. I'm not going to play it now, but I think we're going to address this issue more tomorrow. I'm going to introduce it today because I think some of you may get intrigued by this issue and want to do some work on it. So I'm going to give that to you in chat, but I'm going to ask you, don't go watch it just yet, because let me give you an orientation to it first. Kerry's explanation of the issue. And then I'm going to actually show the issue live on Baby Beast. I have here the my user profile pulled up on Baby Beast. Kerry has a client who for a long time has used the built-in contacts feature of Windows and very much wants to stay with that. And what happens when you're in the user folder and click on contacts, you get this bar here of choices. And I did find two different names for that. Let's see if I can pull that up right quick here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Get it here. So what they have historically done is to have a shortcut on the desktop instead of having to navigate to the user folder. So if we right click on this and go to show more options and create shortcut, that creates a shortcut in this folder. I take that shortcut and drag it onto the desktop. So now his client expects, and many of you in chat watching this might expect, that when you double click on this, you're going to get that same activity bar or action bar, but we don't. That action bar is not here. And there is no way to reactivate it that's been discovered yet, except to go back to the parent folder and then double click on contacts. And now you get this action bar. I think that was one of the words they used for it. And it's a mystery as to why that happens. I've done a fair amount of investigating on this. One thing that is notable is that when you right click on the contacts folder and go to properties, there is no customize tab as compared to these other folders. I might prove myself wrong because I didn't plan this. There's a customize tab right there. Go to, let's see, searches, properties, customize. It seems that most all folders have a customized tab, but contacts does not have the customized tab. Carrie has searched many different options. I have searched many different options. So far, nothing has been found as to how to do this. I have a suspicion of why and how this happened. This is something that used to work for Carrie's client. He used to be able to launch from a shortcut and have those action items there. And somewhere along the lines in a recent update, I don't know if it was 6 months ago, 2 months ago, or what, that feature has disappeared. I highly doubt that Microsoft paid any engineers or developers to take that away. I doubt that they would have spent time trying to specifically take that away. I think that happened as a side effect or a result of something else they did. Something they did recently in this area is implementing the new Outlook. The new Outlook is a replacement for what used to be known as Windows Mail and Windows Contacts.
Read chat, please.
Get to that chat, read chat in a moment. I'm suspecting that in that transition, that implementation, that had a side effect of taking those buttons away. Except that when you click on the contacts folder from the user profile folder, somehow that still works. Now I'm going to go check on that read chat, please. Create a shortcut that executes. I've tried that already. Let me show you the things that I've tried. That did not work. So I'm going to give you an idea of the things that I've tried. Here, Windows Contacts folder. And what I did to pursue this, you know what a fan I have become of Copilot. I just started with this Windows Contacts folder issue. That allowed, that tagged the name. That's the only way I've found to be able to name these conversations, because you cannot rename a conversation in Windows Copilot. Microsoft 365 Copilot chat, you can. So Copilot responded with this. I copied the transcript from Carrie's short video, that one that I put into the link I put into chat. I just grabbed the transcript from that and pasted that raw. I didn't even read it over, no punctuation. And here's what Copilot says. Modify shortcut properties did not work. Enable action bar in settings did not work. Customize folder template did not work. Create a shortcut direct path with this piece did not work. Use the address bar workaround. This is the workaround that Carrie tells about in that video, the one that I just demonstrated. Oh, one other thing for Carrie is I would suggest making the shortcut on the desktop be the user profile folder, not the contacts folder. When the shortcut is the contacts folder, then you have to go back and then click into contacts. Just make the shortcut on the desktop the user profile folder. So then all they have to do is click on the contacts folder. All that does is remove one double click. Not a big deal. So then I told Copilot, I don't have a tab called Customize.
Read chat, please.
Thanks for pointing that out. So here's another method. That did not work. This method did not work. Consider folder behavior. This didn't get me anywhere. Then I gave this prompt. Copilot responded with this. And here was I was asking. I think this must be somewhere in the registry. I have not yet explored through these registry items, because this is just Copilot suggesting, try go looking around in this area. Basically, Copilot is saying it has not found a solution to this in any other conversations on the internet. Now, this isn't a heavy duty, make or break issue for Carrie's client. It's just disappointing for them. And for me, it's an interesting topic. So I have not gone down this path at all. If anybody gets intrigued and wants to pursue this, I invite you to do that, and we can address that tomorrow. Rand Israel says it worked for me on Windows 10. Oh, really? Well, I'm pretty sure we need it to work in Windows 11. Well, okay, that would be Rand Israel. That Windows 10 that you're dealing with, does it still have the Windows Mail app? When you go to your programs listing, of course, it's different. I don't know. Well, now this shows the Mail app. I thought that had changed to Outlook New. I still have the Mail app. But also with Windows 10, you don't have 24H2. So it might be that it's a Windows 11 thing that has changed. Rand Israel says, no, he does not have Windows Mail. He does have the new Outlook. So it might be some other element of 24H2 or some other, even 23H2, but I'm guessing 24H2. So perhaps the question to Carrie was to identify, are you able to identify when that computer got upgraded to 24H2, and did that feature go away then? If enough people complain about this, which I think is highly unlikely, Microsoft might fix that. I think that's highly unlikely because I suspect that
Chat, please.
there's not many people trying to use the contacts folder that way, because keep in mind that this person is actually using it, they're actually creating contacts here. Ben Jones, and click OK. They're actually managing their contacts from this folder, which I think is highly unusual. What happened when you run shell commands from, no, shell contacts from the run menu? Yeah, I'll show you that right here. I'll just do that on Big Beast. So Windows key R, Control V. Is that the one that worked for you, Rand? There's no button bar up here. Button bar is not the right word, but if I go back to the parent folder, double click on contacts, it's back. Action bar, I think. And in Windows 10, I suspect maybe all of those different techniques suggested by Copilot might be working for you. And that'd be because you don't have any of the updates that are present in Windows 11 that are not present in Windows 10. Okay, that introduces that subject. So maybe we'll have an opportunity to discuss that tomorrow. And also the one brought up by Jeff Ryman about activating GP Edit. And for those who are aware of this, I know that Mike's Unboxing has a video using the same technique that I favor. I learned that technique, oh gee, within 2 or 3 years after Windows 10 came out. It's been around for quite a while. All right, anyway, so if you have a question, you can send it to this email. Pictures, screenshots, videos in the way that Carrie did it is very welcomed. Or you can put a comment on any of my videos, and myself in the chat room will do our level best to try to provide an answer, or kick the can down the road to try to figure it out in subsequent sessions. So have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.
Every day.